guys, Holly Warner here. If you don't know who I am, you can read my bio. Functional medicine practitioner, clinical nutritionist, herbologist, all that fun stuff. Hormones, autoimmune conditions, digestive issues, I do all that jazz. Want to talk to you today about heavy metals, inorganic heavy metals. We are exposed to them every day. They're in the food we eat, the water we drink, the air we breathe, the supplements that we take. Shocker, I know, right? Here's the scoop. If you don't know what's in your supplement, and that doesn't mean just turning over the label, but like really know what the fillers are, you're gonna be exposed to heavy metals. Now, what's the big deal? Well, they build up in our system. So when you get this buildup in your system, what is your body gonna do? It's gonna fight back. Now, if you've already got health issues, this could be a very bad thing. But Holly, how does this tie into allergies? I thought we were talking about allergies. We are talking about allergies. This is where it ties in together. When you get a panel done, you're gonna notice things on your CBC like neutrophils. These guys here are a part of our immune system. Let that sink in for a sec. Your CBC panel, you've got your, your red blood cell count, your RBC, your white blood cell count, you've got all your different neutrophils and eosinophils and all of these little things. The neutrophils are one of the markers that have to do with the immune system. They let you know if there's parasites. They can elevate just a tiny little bit, and they're going to be indicative to those of us that are properly trained to know something's going on. So what's going on? These are part of our immune system. They're gonna let us know, like, hey, there's some heavy metal action happening. What, maybe perhaps there's a buildup and it's giving you allergies. You got the sinuses, the itchy nose, the seasonal stuff, that mild chronic cough. Any of that stuff that we equate to allergies might just not be allergies. Let's take nickel and cobalt, for example. When you've got too much of these, it's gonna attack your immune system. It is going to reduce our ability to kill off pathogens by 50%. 50%. That's a big percentage. I mean, I don't know about you, but I want my body to be tip-top 100% when it comes to fighting off pathogens. Pathogens like Candida, just to name one. When this happens, we're getting allergies, we're getting asthma, we're getting skin rashes, we're getting a number of different symptoms that, because we're not keeping our bacteria and viruses in check, we might equate to it's just seasonal allergies, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's the heavy metals. So, you've got your chronic symptoms, they hit you every year, they manifest as allergies, but when you get rid of the heavy metals, they go away. Interesting. Heavy metals raise our IgE. Okay, these levels then being elevated, they're going to weaken us, they're going to weaken our defenses, they're going to leave us open to, increased symptoms like asthma. You're looking at intestinal permeability, you're looking at issues with your gut health. Some people have a low-grade chronic cough that they just can't figure out why. This is all related. It might not be pollen after all. Maybe your itchy eyes aren't pollen either. I know, shocker, again. So if you're someone that you can wear certain jewelry, and then all of a sudden you can't, and you're wondering why, it might not be that you're allergic to nickel, it could just be that buildup of too much systemically that's creating that contact dermatitis or that eczema or that rash. It's very, very common. Nickel is something that accumulates within the body, but we're not knowing it because we're not presenting symptoms. But we are presenting symptoms, we're just showing them as allergies. They look different. Heavy metals affect our cells. The cell's metabolic process, okay? Let that sink in. They rob our cells of oxygen. This is something that we need. We don't want hypoxia, low oxygen. Hypoxia, that's what that is. So it affects the pathways. This means that you can't create enough ATP, I'll hashtag that down below, for cellular energy. Hypoxia, not enough ATP, cellular energy. You need that, very important. So you're feeling tired. Shocker, not a shocker. Again, heavy metals, what's going on? Seasonal allergies, heavy metals. Our drainage pathways start to get all like clogged up and icky, and things just don't function right. That's a problem. So now, what are we gonna do? We're becoming reactive to foods that we didn't react to before. Didn't react to things as a kid, so it's not an allergy. What is it? Maybe it's a buildup of the heavy metals that we're exposed to, again, in the air, in our food. You see where I'm going here? These allergens can contribute to Candida, candidiasis. And that doesn't mean you're going to get a yeast infection. It means maybe it's systemic. And when it's systemic, it looks different. You can have it and be asymptomatic or look like you don't have symptoms. Candida absorbs massive amounts of heavy metals. So you're just consuming all these heavy metals and you're getting them from the environment that you're in, and you're just feeding this Candida, which is a whole other problem. So you can't just tackle heavy metals. You're going to want to look at the Candida aspect. You're going to want to look at the parasite aspect. This is a big deal. Parasites are there to protect us from the heavy metals. Not all the parasites, but some of the parasites. Whole other video on that, but just a little bit of insight is that parasites have evolved faster than we as humans have. They now protect us from the overload of heavy metals that we're exposed to in day-to-day life. That's a whole other video, but there you go. So this Candida thrives off the heavy metals. Eating copious amounts of it, yum, 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 yum. It is going to contribute to mast cell. We've all heard mast cell activation, or I'm assuming we've all heard about it, but it's a problem. So these mast cells producing the histamine's creating the histamine reaction, so maybe some of you are taking DAO because the mast cells triggered by the Candida are releasing the histamine, and DAO, which is the enzyme, is going to degrade the histamine in your gut, but maybe that's not the problem. Maybe that's not why you have these chronic allergies. Maybe the issue is that you need to address the heavy metal toxic overload that's in the system. Histamine's released by our mast cells. So, some people have mast cell activation, some people just need to address the tiny little component of that, which is the Candida part. It's going to weaken your gut barrier. You've got a barrier, your gut's got a job to do. You're weakening that. These tight junctures are not tight anymore. You get intestinal permeability, leaky gut. Do you see how everything is connected and kind of spiraling out of control? These things are an issue. So you're looking at the enzyme, DAO, diamine oxidase. Fantastic stuff. I use it religiously, especially spring, summer, fall for my patients because it's so good at degrading histamine. Some of us have a genetic component where we don't produce this enzyme, whereas other people, we just have so much histamine in our histamine bucket that our body's like, I don't have enough, give me more. So you can supplement with DAO. Hard to find. You got to get it through a licensed practitioner, someone like myself. Other than that, you can't get it off of a shelf. What else? I'm trying to keep this video as close to 5 minutes as possible, and it's just not happening because there's so much to talk about. Candida can also trigger celiac because the proteins in gluten look similar to these proteins. So because Candida elevates our IgE the same way as parasites do, you're going to get this effect on the mucosa, meaning that our intestines, which are going to lead to like atopic dermatitis, all of that, they're leaky, we're getting reactions on our skin, we're getting the allergies, everything else. Candida, which is a pathogen, which I mentioned earlier in the video, it's called cellular mimicry. So molecular mimicry. So this molecular mimicry on the cells, what's happening is this protein is going to look like this, but then this also looks like this. So now you've got this protein that Candida uses, which is similar to the protein of gluten, and now you've got celiac. You're presenting with celiac. So you might be someone that says, I don't test positive for celiac disease, but I do mimic celiac disease, and I feel like I've got celiac. What's going on? It's this onset of celiac, but the issue is actually the pathogen, which is the Candida, not the gluten protein itself. Not to say that gluten is good, because we don't need it, it's bad, but this can be part of what's going on for some people. So full circle from the celiac aspect all the way back to that toxic heavy metal load, skipping over the Candida back to the heavy metals. You need to address the heavy metals. If you want to know how to get rid of heavy metals and the protocol to go with it, you can send me a message. You can contact me, you can DM me on my Facebook page, you can DM me on my Instagram, you can send me a message, you can ask me. There's an entire protocol. I will put a list of some of my favorite products in the comments. Here's the thing, the 2.0, it's a zeolite. Zeolites are like the best thing ever for tackling all of these black mold spores, some of the parasites that are out there. Not all of them, but some of them. There's a whole list that I'm gonna do a little bit of an article on to explain why I love this product so much and why I use it religiously in a lot of my protocols, from Candida to heavy metals to parasites to just plain old spring, summer, fall allergies. Get this shit, it's so good. Any hoozle, I swore, so I'm not gonna be able to monetize this video, and I'm fine with that because it happens. So here you are, there you have it. Zeolites, amazing. The product, I'll put the link down there for the one that I use. There's a couple of them that are out there that are not very good. There's another one that's out there that is equally as good, but the price point, if you're living in Canada, is through the roof, plus shipping, plus duty. Nobody has $200 to be spending on one tiny little bottle of this stuff. So we're gonna skip over that, go to another zeolite product that's equally as good, doesn't cross the blood-brain barrier, but that's fine. We can address that in other issues. Like I said, send me a DM. There's the link. Grab your stuff. It's awesome. Thanks for watching. Whew, I got it all out. That was tight.